Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This video here today is a pretty exciting one, if I do say so myself, because I actually just got a new guitar. But before I give you the big reveal here, I need to provide a little bit of backstory. This guitar right here is probably very familiar to most of you. I've actually had this guitar since I was probably like 11 or 12 years old. It is a Yamaha Pacifica, probably from the early 2000s or something like that. And I love it. It's been a great guitar. I've used it on basically every guitar thing that I've done for the past 10 years. But unfortunately recently, a small little problem reared its ugly head. I was recording something for a song or a beat or something of that nature, and I noticed that it sounded like my tone knob had been turned to like 3 or 4. But as I looked down at the tone knob, I noticed it was on like 9 or 10 where I usually keep it. I tried messing around with the knob and it didn't change the sound at all. So at that point I realized I pretty much had two options. Option number one, I could get a soldering iron, open this bad boy up, learn how to solder a couple things, and probably fix whatever was going on in here pretty easily. Or option number two, I am about to go buy a guitar. Pretty cool.
A man and his new guitar.
And just like that, I had acquired my newest guitar. So this right here is a Harmony brand Stratocaster style guitar. There was a listing for this thing on Facebook Marketplace. I think the guy was selling it for like $125. From these pictures on the listing, it looked like it was a little bit nicer quality than a lot of the Harmony Strats that I've seen. He said he would do it for $100. I needed a guitar. I drove down to Norman, Oklahoma during rush hour traffic. I met the guy in a Brahms parking lot, and here we are. But if you thought everything was smooth sailing after I picked this thing up, you would be sorely mistaken. There were quite a few issues that I really needed to address with this guitar, the first of which being the strings. There was no high E string, and all of the other strings were super sticky and gross and gunked up. So I took those bad boys off, took the time to clean it while all the strings were off and everything, because it definitely needed a good clean. There was literally like a piece of gum or something on the bottom of the guitar, which is really gross.
This is the best feature.
Just in case you want to freshen your breath up during a show, but we got all that taken care of, and then I put on new strings, but the guitar really was still not playable. There was really one main glaring issue, and that was that a couple of the frets were actually popping up out of the fretboard, so I ended up having to glue that back down, and that really still did not work amazingly, so I actually ended up needing to sand down the fret, which I wanted to avoid doing if I could. But once I started doing that, it made me realize how many other frets were also not level, so I ended up sanding down like 5 or 6 different frets, and it took so long for me to do that. It was not a fun procedure at all. I would not want to do it again anytime soon. But finally, it seemed like I was able to get it to a point where it was somewhat playable. Besides the one other main issue that I had, which was that the action was super high on this thing. After I had already adjusted the truss rod, I had already done all that other stuff. Usually you adjust the action by the saddles at the bridge, but they were all the way down. They couldn't get any lower. So I actually went to the local guitar store near me, and I asked one of the guitar techs there, what should I do about that? And he suggested that I shim the neck, which I actually just totally forgot that was even a thing you could do. It's basically when you just put like a little piece of wood or a piece of something in here so that the angle of the neck bends one way or the other. So I came back home and I used my Walgreens rewards card to shim the neck of this guitar. Naturally, in order to shim the neck, I needed to detach the neck from the body. And when I did that, I was able to see the serial number on the neck of the guitar, and that revealed that this guitar is actually from 1975. Super old, ancient, dinosaur times. So after that, I messed around a little bit with the floating bridge, trying to get that to work correctly. But for the most part, I was able to get this thing into a pretty playable condition, and I'm sure you want to hear how it sounds. That's so fun. If you're doing a lot of whammy bar action, it's definitely not staying in tune, that's for sure. So that's how it sounds, just DI straight into the computer on its own. But I think now we need to make a beat with it. I still don't have a strap for this thing, so we're just sitting down for this one. At the guitar store, I actually saw this really cool strap that was like blue with stars and moons and stuff on it and gold. I think that would fit this color perfectly, so let me know if you think I should go back there and grab that. That was pretty good. I think we're gonna have to double that. All right, let's get some lead melodies in there. Okay, I think this is pretty solid, honestly, right now. At this point, I think we've recorded pretty much everything we're gonna need for now. We might come back to this a little bit later, add a couple more melodies, but I think we can rest this aside for right now. I'm just gonna mess around with the tempo a little bit on these right now, just to make sure that everything's kind of on the grid mostly, which will take a while. Took a little while, but I did all the time stretching and everything on the guitars, and I think now we're gonna do some drums. Not bad, we'll take it. Could be much worse. All right, so now we got drums, we got the new guitar up in there, and I think we need to add some bass guitar. That works. Let's see about getting some of this in there, shall we? I think we're just gonna do the old propping it up on the knee trick. As you can see, this is a professional recording studio here. We record things professionally. Okay, we're actually pulling back out the new guitar because I have a little melody idea that I want to add to the chorus. I just want to add kind of like a higher pitched lead melody thing. That's pretty cool. Guitars, drums, bass, all that hullabaloo aside, the instrument that I really am a true master at, that my skills are just completely unmatched. Shaker. I don't think I've ever recorded shaker that fast before. You know, I always joke about it, but I think I actually am like kind of unreal at the shaker. Somehow that fast one was like actually in time. I don't really know kind of what else I could add to this thing. I don't usually make beats this fast, pretty much only because I can't really play drums that fast, but I think it turned out really good, and I think that is pretty much gonna do it for this guy in this video here today. I'm glad I finally got the chance to share my guitar with you guys, let you guys hear how it sounds, do a little beat demo and everything with it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.